Have you gone through the case study yet?
I haven't. I'm
Okay,
so
I haven't looked
horrible
at.
about.
I haven't looked at it either. No worries.
Jose said he was reading it and he couldn't stay awake.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So.
I watched the first video on Fiber One,
Yeah, I did too.
how they reinvigorated the brand, and that's kind of cool.
Yeah. It was
Um,
interesting hearing their reasoning behind their fiber content.
yeah. Um, but other than that, I think I like what you're saying with just getting done ahead of time. You can always turn a project in early. You can never turn a project in late.
Yes. And it felt like we were all kind of crunched for time last week.
Oh yeah.
So.
Let's see. I'm trying to see if I can find the deadline.
Yeah, it seems like in week 9 is when we're actually running the survey.
Yeah. Yeah. So we got a couple weeks, but if we get the questions this week, we decide on the questions next week, like go out of the pool.
Yeah.
And then we do it the week after that. Then we're solid.
And I'm wondering if there's a set start date, like you can't send out your survey until this date. Because
yeah, he'll never know.
I mean, because we could send it out early and get more responses than everybody else.
Yeah.
Because
which I'm sure, I don't know why that would be a bad thing. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I don't think he would penalize us for that.
Yeah, I think it would maybe help solidify what we get. So yeah, there's that. I can't remember who it was that mentioned that we probably discuss how we felt the group did on this last project working together and if there's anything we can improve on.
I think really the only thing, I mean, everybody got their stuff done and everything I saw looked good. It's just like you were saying. I mean, I know I waited too long to do my interviews, and so I was crunched, pushing it. So I think that's just staying ahead of the curve for sure.
Yeah. And do you think we communicated well enough?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard with everybody doing their things. You know, I mean, I saw your guys' thing saying about possibly texting, and I'm willing to do that. People can shoot me texts about stuff. It's just, I mean, when I'm at work, I can't really text back because
Right.
I'm on the phone all day.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'll probably see it about as quick as I'll see it. About as quick as I'll see an email. So
Okay.
either way works for me.
Good to know.
But definitely people just responding, and I feel like we had good communication, and that most of us were like communicating, "Hey, I'm going to get this done this time," or "Oh, I'm a little behind." Like we were pretty decent about that.
Okay.
But just getting everybody on board with that, I think.
All right. Cool.
Probably should have. We should probably discuss like when we give out. And it's my fault for missing the meeting for assignments. But if whoever's doing the editing, we need to have our stuff done so they can get it done. But they also need to, if they volunteer to be the editor, have to understand that they can't bump the deadline up a day because like, oh, it needs to be turned in by the morning because it needs to be because I've got plans. When whatever role we take, then we gotta fulfill that role.
Yeah. And I was thinking, I think I mentioned this in a meeting, I don't remember which one, that we probably should all just assume that the project deadline, the official iLearn deadline, that we should have our work done 24 hours in advance of that deadline. And
that's
editor,
never a bad policy.
And that way the editor has 24 hours to work it all together.
Yep.
And yeah, maybe the deadline and the event that James had, maybe it all just appeared at the end. I mean, I know planning my week, there's always weird stuff that comes up, so.
Yeah, definitely. But other than that, I mean, I think we were solid. I don't think we turned in bad work at all. I think everything looked fantastic. I read through it all and
Okay.
looked good.
Yeah, I was really concerned that all I did was rewrite from the sample. It was kind of frustrating that the sample report was on the same business. It's like,
yeah, that is kind of weird because then you're supposed to read that before you do it. But then when you're writing stuff, you're like, okay, am I writing this because I read that in the sample, or am I writing this because it's something I know? And like, yeah,
exactly. And yeah, I think I started to write about the price because that was in the sample, and I was like, wait, we did not decide that price was a factor. So,
yeah. Hey.
Hello.
Sorry, I'm here. I'm just getting killed by a financial management quiz at the same time. So.
Oh, ouch.
No worries, man. Like we were saying, there's not a ton to discuss today. I mean, I'm behind. I'm not ready to discuss on the case study, but we were just kind of hammering out deadlines for the Qualtrics quiz that we got to do. So
okay,
it's not due for a couple weeks, but we were just saying that if everybody can get 10 questions together, then
when do we want those together by?
What's that?
When do we want those together by?
Were you saying Saturday, Kate?
Yeah, Saturday, or Sunday or Monday. I would say Monday at the very outside.
Okay. And these are all related to Netflix, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. I can do that.
I don't love adding a deadline to our assignments, but since we kind of ended up scrambling this last week, I thought it would be better to have our questions well in advance of when we actually need to launch our survey.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Thank you.
So Jose said he was familiar with Qualtrics. Are either of you familiar with it?
I don't know that I've ever used it.
Okay.
I've taken the surveys on it. I mean, that's just what that's just all like our mid-course evaluation questions and all that were just a Qualtrics survey, weren't they?
Yeah, I think you're right.
I've used it, or I've used SurveyMonkey before, but never Qualtrics.
Okay. So that might be our backup if they can't do the Qualtrics.
Cool.
Okay.
And yeah, like Jose was saying, it's pretty easy to learn. There's plenty of YouTube videos out there. And Brother Hopkins said he can give us some links to some good training for Qualtrics as well.
Okay.
So like if we need to, somebody else can put in the effort and learn it so that we get it launched properly.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be. I'd be willing to do that. I don't think it's anything crazy.
Cool. Yeah, I would think that it wouldn't be too hard, but I'm getting old. I'm always expecting snags and everything.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Cool. Thanks for volunteering for that.
No problem. I'm just getting into. Do you want me to post the link to this when we're done in the meeting log?
Yes, that would be awesome.
Okay. That is right there. Perfect.
Thank you.
I'll post that when we're done. Anything else we need to talk about?
I can think of.
Brian, did we already ask you whether you felt like there were any communication issues with getting this project together?
Yeah. I think communication was an issue. And also just, I mean, I understand stuff comes up, but if we do have a deadline that comes up within the group, we should try to be meeting that because if like in this last scenario where, there were parts of the project that depended on other parts being posted and done.
Yeah.
If you were relying on that, then you got put in a bad position.
Yeah.
So
it's ironic. We started to do our meeting and go through each item in that assignment.
Uh-huh.
I went back and read something in iLearn about how we were supposed to do it, and that was specifically it. It was meet and discuss every single part of the project with the whole group
Right.
at the same time. And it was like, wow. Too bad we didn't read that before.
Yeah. Well, and I had read through that. That's why I thought I'd sent an email out last week saying, when do we want to meet together as a group so we can talk about this?
You did.
And so, but we ended up, I think we did 2 separate meetings.
Yeah.
But yeah, and what makes it tough is scheduling wise, we're all kind of all over the board.
Yes. Yeah. Pretty much we established with James today, we're just always going to have 2 meetings.
Yeah. Now, have we figured out when are we meeting with the instructor this week?
Now, his message says that he wants to meet with us after he grades our project,
Okay.
and that could take 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
And I'm not real comfortable with waiting 2 weeks to meet him about this new project, you know?
Right. Right.
So, I don't know.
Well, look on the bright side. We're halfway through.
Okay,
Yeah.
good point. But yeah,
That's
maybe
why
we
it's keeping me
should.
going right now.
Yeah.
So, all right. So as far as this weekend goes, Saturday morning or Saturday evening for questions?
I say it doesn't matter.
Okay.
As long as we can start the new week with a list of 60 to work with.
Yep.
I think we'll be good.
All right. And I believe you had sent out a document so we can all take a look. I'd hate to see half of our questions, be variations on the same thing.
Now that's kind of why we're asking for 10 from everybody.
Okay.
Jose and James and I discussed this, and it was James's idea to come up with 10 from everybody, because really the maximum number of questions we're going to want on any survey is 25.
Right.
So this gives us room to eliminate more than half of our questions.
The purpose of these is to determine how people are using Netflix, what they like, what they don't like. What are they watching? What would they watch if it was on Netflix? Is that kind of the gist of it?
It's not working. It sounds like, Jake, you've read through it.
I'm looking through it right now.
Awesome.
I read through the because they have the PowerPoint up, and it's the questionnaire development. So I've been
Yes.
reading on quality of questions, how to ask good questions, but it doesn't specify in there what questions you should ask, like what we're looking for with our questions. So I got to look a couple weeks ahead and pull that up.
Yeah, and we can only look 1 week ahead.
Because it's not in
kind
this
of,
week's readings on it.
Okay, so our sample questionnaire, let's see what that's about. So there's a question about how often, how much do you spend, how long are you willing to wait? It's about burgers, I guess, or Chick-fil-A. Importance of several different factors of choosing that restaurant. How would you rate competitors? When was the last time you used our service? Do you agree that Subway is a family restaurant? If I had more coupons, I would patronize more. So yeah, it's kind of like, what do you like and what do you not like about us, and what could we do differently that you would like? Does that sound like it makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I was looking at this week's material, and it sounds like, are we supposed to discuss a new service from Netflix? Are we supposed to try to introduce something new, or? This is just part of studying marketing.
And we could, well, that's part of it is this survey we can use to identify what might be stale in Netflix. You know, we could say things like questions like, how would you rate the original content? Or, it talks about those close-ended questions like you were talking about with, wearing bright colors makes me feel happy. So it could say something like, I watch Netflix every day, 1 through 7, or stuff like that. I guess.
Yeah.
We got to make sure that the whole point of it is that it's supposed to give us more information. So
Yes.
if we re-ask the questions that we have already asked in our qualitative interviews, then what we're going to be doing is we're going to be getting a quantitative answer on it. So
Yeah.
you would think that we wouldn't want to double up, but I almost think that we do double up on and ask questions that we asked, make them close-ended versions of what we asked in the interviews, so that they can be answered in the quiz, and we can kind of say, okay, so within a 10% margin of error with how many people we've asked, this many people strongly agree or strongly disagree that this statement is true, and then we can look at the answers we got in our qualitative interviews and say, okay, this is a true statement for the market, not just for this person. So it'll help us kind of take personal answers and make them applicable to a market study.
Yeah. Thank you. I knew I was missing a connection piece there. So yeah, we could do, like, one of the questions could be, okay, which other service do you use among these 3 options?
Mhm.
Like, obviously we want to keep Amazon Prime in our list and probably Hulu. And based on, Sarah's section of the report, those are probably the only 2 we need to ask about, and put one in for other.
Yeah, and we'll make sure that they can write in whatever that other one is.
Yeah. So we can find out if there's more variation than what we got out of our original ones.
Mhm.
And then, yeah, do you think that, how satisfied are you with Netflix 1 to 7? I think Netflix is better than the other services. Yes or no?
Exactly.
Go in the other room, boys. Right now. Other room.
Yeah, we got some time, this whole week. So if everybody's going over stuff, if they've got questions, we can email each other and figure out, if someone's having trouble coming up with questions. I think that PowerPoint is vital information for this week, because it's about, when you're doing a massive survey like this, you don't ask the right questions, or if you don't word the questions right, then what you're going to get is you're going to get like a totally skewed craziness that just doesn't do you any good,
Yeah. Thanks for joining us, Sarah.
Hi. Hi. Sorry, my other thing is not working now.
Yeah.
It looks like it's working. That you're showing up twice in the bar below.
Yeah, but it's like frozen on my screen.
Huh. All right. Well, is there anything else we need to talk about tonight then?
I guess we should ask Sarah too if she felt like there were any group dynamics issues, and if there's anything she thinks we can improve with group dynamics and communication.
I think it's just actually talking to each other and that kind of stuff.
And do you think email is sufficient, or do you think we should be texting each other, or?
If you want me to do it, then email is better.
Okay.
Just because I can get email at work, and I don't get my phone at work.
Okay. Alrighty. That makes sense. So basically only call you if it's not during your available hours.
Yeah.
And yeah, would you be willing to give us your phone number just in case we need you.
Oh, yeah. It's
Awesome.
928-587-6691.
Alrighty, it is in our group member list in the meeting log. Thank you very much.
Awesome.
Cool.
Alrighty, so
Well,
we all agree that we should have 10 questions in by the end of Saturday. I think it is a good idea to try to schedule in advance our meeting with Brother Hopkins. Do you think next Tuesday at 6 o'clock we should just pitch that to Brother Hopkins and see if he's willing to meet, whether he's graded our stuff or not?
Sure.
yeah.
Okay. Do you have any conflicts, Sarah?
What day?
Next Tuesday, the 31st? Oh God, that's Halloween. That's probably a horrible day, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a horrible day.
Everybody's got kids.
Well, I don't, but I was going to throw full-size candy bars at him this year.
Nice.
Oh,
Okay. So
Do you guys have group meetings on Wednesdays, or I guess I got one on Wednesdays, but what about Thursday for everybody?
this Thursday?
yeah, the
Next Thursday.
second.
That'd be fine with me.
Okay. I think, yeah, that should work for me.
I don't know. I don't have my schedule.
Okay.
It should be fine, though.
Okay.
All right. And James probably won't be able to attend. And Jose's schedule really does seem a little unpredictable. But yeah, as long as we can make HOA work when we've got Brother Hopkins on the line, I think we'll be good.
Heck yeah.
And yeah, Jake, you got it to work this time, so that's awesome. Thank you.
Yep. Awesome. Well, I think we're good to go then. If anybody's got questions, we can just get a hold of each other, and we'll be good and ahead if we do it like this. So
Yeah.
no
Okay.
stress.
Right on. Thank you so much, everybody.
Yep. Have a great night.
You too.
See you guys.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.